Hello. I know. Weird, right? That you weren't really thinking that you would see this mug again, but we're here, and we're here for another movie review. And, I do apologize for that month and a half, but when life provides you positive change in your life, you kind of want to go with it and you want to go through it. And in this case, change as far as states go. But here I am, and here you are. And we're going to be talking about a Christian based film that is shockingly also a possession film. Yeah, you heard that right. It's a possession film, but it's also a Christian based film, something that you would never think would go hand in hand. But wait, there's more. It's rated R. Yeah, from my understanding, the last rated R film that we had that was Christian based was actually a Hollywood film done by Mel Gibson, and it was Passion of the Christ. But this Christian based studio and film, rated R, possession, I don't know. Maybe we're seeing an uprising in these films for better quality, better storylines than what Hollywood is pumping. So, Hollywood, be on the lookout. But regardless, though, here we are going to be talking about Nefarious, that's starring Sean Patrick Flanery.
Hello there, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and children.
If you don't know who Sean Patrick Flanery is, that's okay. Because really, one of the big movies that he's played in was Boondock Saints, where he plays the other Irish brother to Norman Reedus. In this film, this Christian-based film, he plays Nefarious, as well as the individual who, of course, the demon Nefarious, actually inhabits. This film is very wonderfully done. Sean Patrick Flanery does just as amazing job as James McAvoy did when it came to the film Split or even Glass. His counterpart, who plays the psychiatrist, Dr. James Martin, who's played by Jordan Belfi, does an amazing job as well. Now, Dr. James Martin is an atheist. So during this conversation piece, and that's the whole thing, this whole movie primarily takes place between two individuals having a conversation. Something that I haven't seen and enjoyed done since the old black and white film 12 Angry Men. Because you can get away with a few subtle camera angles, but it takes a good story to actually keep somebody involved with it. So much so that, of course, I informed my sister about this movie. 20 minutes in, she was hooked, and she hates these movies. So kind of tells you about what the story is and how powerful the story is altogether. Because it's about the individual, Nefarious, who is trying to convince the psychiatrist to put him on death row. Because like I said, he wants to be on death row, so then that way the inhabitant, the individual, will go to hell. With that in mind, the counterpart, the actual demon, tells about how awful his creator is, and which we all know is God, because God created man, God created angels. The major big difference is the fact that when he created man, women, children, they have the ability to be asking for forgiveness. Where it comes to fallen angels, they only get a one shot, and that's their biggest issue with humanity. And that's what he goes and he explains is that one of the reasons is because of the fact that humanity has the ability to repent, to be forgiven of the sins, because we are the better creation that God created. And with that, the demon tries to tell the psychiatrist this, as well as lets him know that he's going to have 3 killings throughout the actual interaction with him. I won't go into too much story or too much plot regarding that, because it's up to you as a viewer to actually watch this film. Like I said, it's a very powerful film, it's very well done, and it deserves your viewing. But regardless, though, this individual, this demon, kind of tells him about the past, what God created, how everything works, and what he's doing and why he's doing it. Now, he does go into brief history of, say, rituals that was performed back in the early 18th century, like a long time ago. He goes into these stories and he tells about the past and how humanity has failed God in certain manners, in certain ways, kind of twisting the mind of the doctor, the psychiatrist, and making him rethink of what he actually believes. Now, at the end of the film, I won't lie, he does become a believer, which going in, again, he's trying to see if he's going to be executed or what the demon doesn't want, which is lifetime in jail and prison, because that's where he would spend the rest of his life in. But throughout the film, though, Sean Patrick Flanery does a wonderful job where you can tell between the two personalities. Now, between the two personalities, he does kind of twitch when there's that demon speaking. But part of that is also because of what he said in real life during the filming. He actually had a electrical collar attached to him for reasons, personal reasons, that has to deal with possible house arrest. I don't know, but somebody on the sidelines would electrocute him every once in a while. So sometimes those twitches are real because being electrocuted, but plays to our favor because it turns out to be a great and phenomenal performance. Even more so, I feel like this film does a wonderful job between the two individuals and the counterparts, and the dynamic of the chemistry between the actors are wonderful, and they couldn't have picked any other better individuals to play these characters because the selling point is top tier. Now, I did say it's rated R. The first hour 15, no sense of reasons of rated R. There were some like special effects that had to deal with breakings of some bones. I won't go into detail, but nothing that you wouldn't see in PG-13. The rated R actually takes place in the last bit where you can kind of see of, okay, maybe it is rated R, but it could pass as PG-13. But it is all up to the viewer, and honestly, it's up to your opinion. I feel like you guys should go watch it. It's a great film. It's very well done. The storyline and the dynamic between the characters keeps you right in the film with them. It keeps you entertained. It keeps you focused on the two and where it was going to go, where you might think it will go, if it is going to have a happy ending, and it honestly sets up for a potential sequel if they choose to do so. So kudos to Sean Patrick Flanery and the whole cast who did this film, Nefarious. You can actually rent it on Vudu. If you have Roku, I think you might be able to rent it there, but check your local listings because they might be there. It might be there as well. But like I said, Nefarious, check it out. Also, subscribe, like, comment on the channel, and we'll see you guys next time for the next review.